Hey everybody, I wanted to do a short tutorial on the Points of View Reference Center that is accessed through the Cincinnati State Library. So I'm going to share my screen, and this is in the Locating and Assessing Sources folder for week 7. If you click on this link, it's going to open up a new page because it says it's taking you outside of the Cincinnati State or the Blackboard learning system. So just click on the link, it's okay to do so, and then click on this tab called Finding Articles. That will take you to this page, which I think you may have seen in the previous video when I talked about Academic Search Complete. Here we have the Points of View Reference Center. There is a 3-minute video that the librarians have done, which is very helpful as far as navigating through Points of View Reference Center. But I wanted to do a little tutorial that's specific for our class and for the topics that we may be working on for this second essay. So when you click on this, it will take you to a page that looks like this. That's why I have this up here. If you are trying to access and you're not on campus, you will need to log in to access the databases with your last name and your 7-digit college identification number. If you are on campus, I don't think it's an issue, but for those of you who may be completely off campus, you'll need to log in. So I've already logged myself in, and this is what the Points of View Reference Center page looks like. Now, there's a bunch of stuff up at the top that is probably more current. You'll see here COVID stuff, voter identification, China, use of police force, so on and so forth. Those are things that are, more or less current events. But you'll see down here that there are all these topics. So when thinking about what Kimberly Crenshaw's primarily arguing in her video, you want to think about things such as police and race and inequality, those kinds of things, right? So what you look at here is going to be relevant. So I've looked at a few things, a few topics, and under crime and punishment, there's excessive use of police force, and I'll just click on a couple of these just to show you what comes up. So what comes up is a general article that examines both sides, right? It gives you an overview of the topic of use of police force. You'll see here stuff about Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, chokehold, vocabulary to help you understand things. If we click on understanding the discussion, that does nothing. Okay, but this gives you a little bit of context. And then if you look over here on the right side, they have point and counterpoint. So I want you to think of point and counterpoint kind of as the thesis and the counter argument, right? The point for the argument, and then the counterpoint is against the argument. So they have a point here: generalized complaints of excessive use of force hurt the police and the communities they serve. And then the counterpoint or the counter argument would be accusations of police brutality should be addressed in a prompt and thorough manner. If you click on these, again, it'll open up, and it's a pop-up that probably doesn't show up. So let me make sure that we get that new share. Here we go. You should be able to see that. So then a new article will pop up, and look here down at the bottom, there is almost always a bibliography of sources. So this would be a great place for you to jump off and find some more sources that may support the arguments that you are making in your paper. And most of them are pretty recent. See July 2020, a lot of articles relating to things that happened after the George Floyd murder. So I'll close that. Did it again. Just a sec. Let me share my screen. And then for the counterpoint, again, you would also see me share that pop-up. For some reason, the pop-ups don't show up. So here's the counterpoint. Again, you would find arguments from the other side, the opposite side. Excuse me. So that is, let me stop sharing that. That is one of the topics in the good grief, Points of View Reference Center. Sorry, folks. For some reason, if I try a new share and I try to stop it, it closes everything. So that was police use of force. So let's look again under that heading of crime and punishment. We have police excessive use of police force. You could look again, see if anything else applies. Let's see, I thought there was another one. Police funding. That would bring up some issues about, you know, defund the police, that kind of thing. Let's look at another one. Oh, race and culture had some really good stuff here. So there's Black Lives Matter movement, which will be updated. Anything that's updated is going to have some really current resources for you. So again, this gives you a little bit of an overview of Black Lives Matter, why it's relevant, and then look at this wonderful bibliography of articles. Lots of interesting stuff here. And most of them you should be able to access. Let's look at this from the New Yorker. Hopefully there's no paywall that we would have to go through. A paywall is just a place that wants you to subscribe. So we have resources like the Pew Research Center, which is a reputable resource, NPR, blackenterprise.com, Pew Internet, that's Pew Research Center again. So a lot of Pew Research Center, New Yorker magazines, Huffington Post. That one's okay. So you get the idea there. Another thing would be, let's see, Racism in America would be another one. Oh, Teaching Black History in K-12 Schools. This one's new. And this one is related to the idea of critical race theory that's been in the news over the past year and a half. Whether it belongs in the schools or not. So, and that was one of the questions that I posed. If you were interested in writing about that, see, all these articles are from 2021. So you get the idea. This gives you a place to look for information for both sides, right? If you're having difficulty constructing a counter argument, you could always come here, depending on what your topic is, and be able to examine both sides. So that's the Points of View Reference Center, which again, you can access through this link here, finding the articles. So hopefully that's helpful. Again, the library has that short 3-minute video that tells you how to navigate through it, which is helpful. So I recommend watching those videos. The librarians do a great job at Cincinnati State as far as helping students access information and help them with their research. And when you log into the library website, you usually will get a pop-up. If you have a question, you can chat with them live during the daytime hours. So I always recommend that too. You know, if you're just not sure how to start your research, you can always pose a question to the librarians and they'll be able to point you in the right direction. All right. So good luck with your research. Take care. Bye-bye.